PODQUARiUM. This is my podcast. I'ma talk about some shit. It's just the aquarium. I'm with Arix Jahonson. I'ma talk about some shit. Yeah, this is PODQUARiUM. Yeah, this is PODQUARiUM. This is PODQUARiUM. This is PODQUARiUM.
And we are back. We're back. Welcome to PODQUARiUM. This is Nico, and today we have a very special guest, the guy who suggested the first topic for the podcast, and all-around dope producer, cool-ass person. Please welcome Arix Jahonson.
What up, my G? Yo.
How's it hanging, bro?
Good. You're one of the few people that have said my name correct, so.
Yeah, I heard it from the tag. I'm sure I butchered it a couple times, but the tag just I got you.
Bro,
Arix
people
Jahonson.
People say crazy things. It's actually not as deep or as weird as people think. It's just a quick inside joke, but yeah.
Yeah, how did you come up with the name?
Okay, so my real name is Arix Jahonson, and in 7th grade, my cousin, Chris Okoma, the guy who we produced Yakuza for Stizo, I do a bunch of melodies and stuff with him, and he just in 7th grade, he just was joking around, and so he just said Arix Jahonson, and for some reason it just stuck, and it people kept saying it throughout high school, and it's kind of funny because it kind of sounds I'm from some foreign country or whatever, but
it does. It literally does.
Yeah, it's just a stupid inside joke, but I looked at it like this. I looked at it it made more sense for me to use a dumb name like that rather than Fly Young Beats 23 or something. You know what I mean? Something super
Preach.
corny that has nothing to do with my life. So
Preach. I feel that. It's sometimes when we're young, especially, I feel we try to stray so far from who we are in our alias creating shit, and then you just end up coming back to who you actually are. My new name or whatever is just my name, Nico, now. And it's same shit. But swag. Happy to have you here, bro. So because you suggested, I just want to get this part out of the way quick, just since it's still relevant and fresh in our heads. I guess the first thing I want to ask you about is, because you suggested the topic of buying placements, I'm sure you have your own terrible stories and hopefully some good stories about what it's like to buy placements, what it's like to pay to work with other people. So would you mind sharing a little bit of that?
Yeah, so I don't have too many terrible stories. I have a couple of, just, how it goes, just trying to get people to respond and whatever. But no, so the first time I ever bought a placement, I won't say the names for anybody who ended up coming through for me because I don't want to hate on them. So the very first time I did I did 2 beat placements with this producer, and basically he took forever. He was, typical, when can you do it? I can do it as soon as you send the payment. Months go by, doesn't happen. And then it's just a back and forth with oh, did you like this loop? And then him not liking certain loops, and it's understandable, I guess, but at the same time, why are you selling a product if you don't know what you're, you know what I mean, getting into, kind of?
Of course.
So basically, after months, that one eventually came through, so I can't complain too much, but at the same time, I look at it if I'm paying you money, I shouldn't have to even reach out to you more than one time.
Yep.
Because that's your job to do that. That's not my job. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to be annoying. I don't want to hassle you, but at the same time, it's I'm going to get what I paid for,
Yeah.
But that one I don't have too much to say. That one was probably that one was the smoothest transaction. The second one, and the most infamous one that I feel I sometimes still talk about, would be Stacy Money. Do you know who that is?
Yeah, Stacy Money. I know who that is. I remember you mentioning that a while ago.
Yeah, that's even why I suggested the first episode, is because I knew that you went through certain things like that, and then I went through certain things like that, and there's so many other people who did that will never like want to talk about it because it's like, you know, a bad look or whatever. But I look at it like, bro, people have to know, you know, and exactly. It's like, never do that. Like, shout out to all like the rappers who are cool, but never buy a placement ever from a rapper or even a producer for that matter. But so Stacey Money, that one was funny. I didn't even pay him. I sent him a Supreme box logo. Like it was, I don't know if you remember, it was the cross one where like it had like the two box logos. Like basically I sent him that, and it was just a terrible, bro. I sent that box logo to him in January, and it's November, and I still don't have anything.
Damn.
Yeah,
whole 11 months.
And that's someone that I don't care to drop's name, because it's like, he obviously is in the wrong, and it's not like he's ever gonna like care about me to even send it to me anyways. Like I really enjoyed his music, and I like, he for a while he was one of my favorite artists, honestly. But I've heard people say certain things about him, like certain producers that I'm cool with that used to be cool with him, tell me like, yeah, he's like, you know, whatever, I wouldn't do anything like that. But I didn't hear about that till after the fact. So basically I sent him this box logo, and nothing, like he just, you know, typical, you know, like, oh, send the beats, I'm in the studio tonight. You know, my favorite thing about when rappers will scam you will be when they tell you to send the beat, but every single night on Instagram they post on their story that they're recording.
Literally.
And it's like, bro, literally, like, just open my email, bro. Like,
yeah, the whole like asking like, hey, send the email again, bro. Like, send me the beat, I'm recording right now. It's like, okay, but that doesn't change anything the last time you were in the studio type shit, you know?
I know. They just, like, say it to postpone it, but I look at it, like, this is how I feel, bro. If you're really gonna, like, finesse someone and scam someone, just own up to it.
Yeah.
Like, just say, I scammed you, LOL. Like, don't just, like, drag it on and, like, make, you know, like, that's not, whatever.
It's just a bad look professionally, you know? But also, I don't feel like they have the guts to, like, really own up to what they're actually doing, because then that would actually be a worse look for them, in a way. You know what I'm saying? Like...
Well, I try to be as honest as possible with everything.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's what I would say. But basically, typical, you know, send beats in the studio recording, never gets on anything. And then one day, I mean, I don't even know how long, like how many months went by, just so many months went by, and I was so frustrated. And it was so annoying too, because like he gave me his phone number, right? And like he'd be like, oh, we're locked in. And I was like, okay. And then obviously we weren't locked in. But it's funny because at a certain point I just got like really like frustrated with him, and I just like kind of like went off on him a little bit. And I don't remember what I said, but whatever I said, like I don't regret any of it. I stand by it. And then basically he was like, he said something like, oh, I don't like how you talking to me, boy, or whatever. And I'm like, I don't like how you scammed me 6 months ago, but you still did it.
Yeah.
So basically he was like, I want an apology, and I was like, all right, sorry.
Yo,
can you send me this?
He asked you to apologize to him?
Yeah. But I said it only because I was really trying to put these songs on streaming and just get some like money off this, because I looked at it like I lost my box logo, you know, I lost all this time and like, you know, energy. I was like, bro, just give me the songs, I'll just, you know, get them, you know, on streaming. So I just did like a half-ass, you know, like, oh, sorry or whatever. Basically, like, I don't even know if he ever responded. Like, it's still to this day. So I'm like, yeah, it's bro. I could add him to this FaceTime right now and be like, hey, you want to talk about how you scammed me? But
yo, that would be fucking crazy. But you don't have to do all that. I mean, if you want, go ahead. But you know, that's crazy. Though. You called him out though. Like that's big. I feel like calling him out is the right thing to do. You know.
Yeah, because the thing about it is like I don't think I'm not in the wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I look at it like it's what you said in the last episode. If you're a business and you sell something, and then it's like the food thing when you said you go to order steak but they give you fries instead. It's like it's still food, but it's not what you even ordered. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But in this instance, I got nothing.
Yeah, which is even worse. Obviously, like nothing.
Like you did. like you did with the one dude, which I don't even know who that even was. I don't even remember who that was.
Yeah, that was a Daytona. He's like one of like the Migos' cousins or something, but he was on like a couple quality control projects, and he had like a bunch of songs I really liked, and I just got really into him, and it all happened quickly, you know. Like I discovered him, and like 2 months later, I was like, yeah, I'll pay you for a feature, for a placement, you know.
Same thing with Stacey Money. But the funny thing about the Daytona thing is, I looked him up after listening to your podcast. I can't even find his Instagram.
Really?
Like, does he still make music? I don't even know.
The thing is, I remember like around the end of that whole situation, like before I had made the diss song, so probably like about a year ago now, he had posted some shit on Instagram being like, yo, bro, like, fuck my label, even though his label is literally QC, like quality control. Being like, they won't let me drop any music, so you know what, like, I'm not gonna make any music anymore. So there is a chance he deleted his Instagram, or at least maybe got a different one, because I feel like I have like looked at his Instagram sometime this year, but I don't know. It just goes to show, I feel like he's literally like a young kid, and he just had a lot of clout because of who he was associated with, and so he just thought he could get away with a bunch of shit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, people look at like clout and they think it's better than talent, you know, and it's not. But I only have one other placement story, which this one eventually ended up working out somewhat. This one isn't too big of a deal, but basically there was an artist who I sent some money to, and I sent the money back in May. I didn't get the song until November this month. And I sent a completely different beat, and he got on this other beat from like that I'd sent him like almost a year ago. And the beat was pretty bad, I won't lie. And I'm like, well, thanks for doing it, but this isn't what I wanted. You know, and it's like, I don't want to like talk too bad because he at least did something, but at the same time, it's like, I didn't want this song. Like, it's okay, but it's like that other beat. The reason why I sent that other beat was because I knew that you would sound so much better on it, and you would have, but instead you wanted to do your own thing, which is whatever. But I don't know, like, that's the thing about placements is like, even if you do get a placement, they might send you a completely different like beat that you don't even want, as far as like maybe a beat that you sent them in the past or whatever. And it's like, for the love of God, whatever you do, don't buy a placement, because it's never gonna end up good, like, ever.
No, it really won't. Like 99% of the time, it's just not gonna work in your favor. And and like I said in the other one, some people might disagree and be like, yo, you know, at least he sent you something, but same shit. It's like, at the end of the day, you're a business, you're a corporation. Like, if I'm paying you for something, I expect you to fulfill what I paid for. I don't expect you to just give me whatever the fuck you want and me be okay with it because you have more clout or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not how business is done. At the end of the day, you just look like a bad business person. Like, your business is just not in check, and that's gonna last longer than your music will, especially if you only have clout and not talent. Like,
well, that's the funny thing too, is after something like this happens, and it's happened more than one time, especially like with someone like me or you really appreciate the people that are like real and cool so much more.
Yeah.
Like, I appreciate you so much more. I appreciate, like, Mojo so much more. I appreciate, like, all these people, because it's like, there are so many weird people, bro. Like, people are so concerned with looking cool rather than just being a good person, you know? Yes. But not even a good person, but just being a good artist or, like, being creative or whatever. It's like, I'm not, like, no offense to anybody who does this, but I don't go on YouTube and I don't look up how to make Playboy Cardi type beat. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
I go in FL and I literally just try to make something from the soul. Like, I just try to make something that I don't think of an idea of what to do. I just do something and it comes out. And I think that's like the most genuine way for me to make music, is to do that.
Preach. No, I agree wholeheartedly. Like, a lot of the time it'll just be like, yeah, I'll just go into Logic and just scour through sounds, find something that I like how it sounds, and then just like build off of that, you know? A lot of the time, like, I'll end up doing like super long beats where like it changes consistently and the drums change consistently, and then I'll just get like a 16 bar loop of that 5-minute session and then just make that into its own beat, you know, like,
Yeah.
because I just like going off without a restriction. I feel like with, like, unless you're a beginner and like you just started producing, then I guess, yeah, it's okay. You want to make a beat that sounds like a Cardi beat? Sure, do your thing. You're probably like 15 years old and you just like want to make a Cardi beat. Like, good on you. But if you're like a producer that's been making music for like years or even multiple months and you're just trying to make beats that sound like everything else that's already out there, you're just doing yourself a disservice. Like, you don't need to sound like everyone else. You need to sound like yourself. That's what's going to be more interesting and get you more longevity in the end. Like,
and that's why I like you, is because I commented on your thing the other day and I said like most unique producer, and like I really meant that, because it's like, bro, you have like such like a certain style and I appreciate it, and you can tell that the style is you know what I mean? You're not trying to do a style. The style is just what you like. And
Bless.
I think people should, I don't know, people should really consider what they like, and people should not try to make what other people like.
yeah.
But that's the hard part about being a producer.
Right there. Yeah, it is, because when you're a producer, especially other artists, they want you to go after a certain sound sometimes.
Yeah.
And if that's just not what you want to do, then maybe you get like shelved or like you get whatever. It just might not work out for you in that instance with that certain person. But again, if you're just doing what is true to yourself, what you enjoy, it'll shine through with longevity more than if you're just trying to make like 100 different rage beats in like a week. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. I think one of my favorite melodies that I've ever made that you used was the Ketamine by Steezo song.
yes. Oh,
I love that
beat.
melody, because the melody is very like emotional and like genuine, and it's like just something I pulled from my soul somehow. I don't know. And it's not like the melody's like, oh my god, it's the craziest thing in the world. It's pretty much just like strings and like a little like piano melody, but like it goes, and like I think it's like honest. And then ironically, like if you look even how I made that melody, you took the melody, you did drums on it, and then when Steezo got on it, like even the content of what he was talking about in the song was a lot more like real and emotional, rather than if I had sent you a rage beat or, you know what I mean, or a rage loop. That's what I love about music, is like, you know, we like producers, I was making a melody last night with Chrysocoma, and he said like producers make the entire vibe of the song.
100%.
Yeah,
100%. Like, artists definitely, you know, bring a flair to it, and depending on like what kind of artist you are, sometimes like your voice does make the song in a way. But I always believe that like production is 80% of the song. Like, the artist is just like doing vocals on it, but like the mixing, the engineering, the actual beat, the samples used, whatever it may be, that's what makes the song. And then most of the time the artist will be inspired from the sound and write accordingly. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I think too, maybe someone might get like triggered for me saying that. Maybe what I should have said was, good producers make the vibe of the song.
Yes.
Because I'm sure you could like go on and, you know, make just like whatever, but it has to be good, you know? It's so funny because I think sometimes I'll still like, I'm a huge, I saw, you know, Forever, the producer Forever.
Yes, yeah.
Literally legend, like one of my top inspirations. Like, I could never say enough good things about him. He posted on Instagram, I think yesterday, he was like, I'm a human, I send bad melodies out sometimes, my bad. And I'm like, that's me. Like, everybody's gonna have some like bad things here and there, you know? But the things that are your best will be like your standout things, you know? It's kind of like, if you look at the melodies that I send out that get used, usually they're the best melodies, you know?
Right. But I also feel like the beautiful thing about that is that, you know, since it's all so subjective, like sometimes the best melody for you will not be the best melody for someone else, and someone else can take a certain loop or melody that you've sent and create something like totally new out of it, and something that maybe like our ears couldn't have heard before. You know what I mean?
when you did the melody for Yakuza for the Stizo song, that melody was like the beginning of the song kind of thing, and then you took it and you completely like changed it to something different, but it's still there though, which is the crazy thing. Like that's what I love about doing stuff with you sometimes is like you'll literally take a melody and just make it something completely different rather than I'm not gonna lie, I love when people just take melodies that I just make and just use them normally, but like yeah, you're really like different because of that, because most producers don't do that. I don't do that. I won't lie to you. I rarely do that, you know.
Yeah, thank you. Well, yeah, I just feel like you know, sometimes the melody will like speak to exactly what it is, you know, and I'll hear it and I'll think like I know exactly what needs to be on this for it to sound like the way that I'm imagining it in my head to sound. But sometimes I'll hear something and I'm not even sure of like how it should sound like. So in those instances, I kind of just like do the same thing. Like I'll pick one instrument and like I'll just start riffing on that, and then that'll like evolve into something once again like completely different. And then by the end, it's like the melody is definitely there, but it's not like the forefront of the beat, you know, it's like the backbone. It's still very necessary, but the beat does something completely different. So that's something I love about music production.
Oh, it's amazing, yeah. Yo, I don't know how long you want this podcast to be, but I definitely have a couple of questions.
Oh, hit me.
All right, I'm going to be selfish real quick and ask you what's your favorite song and or beat that me and you have done?
Favorite song or beat that you and I have done? Let me see. I got to look at my list over here. I love the ketamine beat is like definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah, for sure.
Twosome's good. I'm trying to think. I did one that's the Pink Stars beat is definitely one of my favorites. I love the Pink Stars beat and the Skyscraper, which I guess is the one that became Yakuza.
Yeah. Well, right? wait. No, Yakuza was I think that melody was called I think we call that melody Yokozuna, actually.
Oh, yeah, you did. Yeah. You did. Yokozuna. Okay, that's the one that became Yakuza.
Yeah.
And then... Time Warp is also one I really like.
Which was the song with Saw.
Yeah, that's the song that became Mental.
By s.mosthated. Yeah, that I would say out of our stuff, the song with Saw, like Mental, and then Ketamine by Stizo, I think those are our two peaks, I would say.
Facts. Those just have like, they just hit so good. I could just listen to the beat on its own and it's just like, sheesh.
Yeah. And then the outro that you did on Mental is crazy too.
Bless. Thank you. I've been really like just doing that to almost all my beats lately, just like chopping and screwing the outro. Just give it that like outro feel, you know, like the song has ended. Now just sit and listen to this beat.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. For
Swag.
sure.
You got any other questions?
Yes, I have 3 more. The first one being, I actually wanted to know this one. When did you start making music? Because I have no clue.
I started making music, let me think, producing, because I started like writing lyrics and getting on beats when I was like 16, which was like almost 10 years ago at this point. But that, I didn't learn how to produce then, but like I was just, my favorite groups were like Das Racist, and I loved like MF Doom and Danny Brown. You know, that was like my intro into being like, yo, I want to make music, especially MF Doom, because, you know, he produced most of his own shit too. And so like, that's what got me thinking like, yo, I really want to do that. And Yeah, it started with literally GarageBand and this pair of headphones, like Apple headphones. I would just record on the mic of the Apple headphones and all my music sounded like shit sonically. But it's so funny because back then I was under the impression like, which I'm sure every young person thinks this, where it's like, if I just spit super fire bars, it doesn't matter that it sounds like shit, like my bars are fire.
Yeah.
And it's just so funny because nowadays it's the complete opposite. You could be saying nothing on a beat, but if it's mixed well and sounds good, it'll do well,
Yeah.
But yeah, I started that, and then probably when I was like 17, 18, I started making beats, and I didn't really start posting on YouTube, though, which is, I guess, is when I became more of like a full-time producer until like 3-4 years ago, which is crazy for me to think about because like I've always made beats, but they were like very me-type beats, you know what I mean? Like really niche in a way where I'm like, if I post these, like no one's really gonna fuck with them as a beat. I have to just like do my own thing on the beat. But then as I started like expanding my taste a little bit and like getting more into the underground, I started to, draw some inspiration from some of the sounds that I, wouldn't normally go after myself. And then I sort of incorporated that into some of the shit I did. So yeah, I would say I've started like producing full time, like about 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah. All right. I was going to ask you who are your inspirations, but you kind of just said with Danny Brown and MF Doom. And so is there anybody else, or are those like your top inspirations?
No, because that was more of like my entry point inspirations. MF Doom always will be an inspiration, but like lately in the last couple of years, I would say for more of like, I guess you could call mainstream inspirations, I would say like JPEG Mafia and Brockhampton. Those are like two of my favorite just music to listen to because of their diversity. Like both Brockhampton and JPEG Mafia, I feel like JPEG Mafia, since he's also like his own producer and his own artist, he can just like make beats that only he would get on. And that's something I find like super cool. Also like Pierre Bourne, because of the same, not necessarily the sound he does, just because I feel like the sound is just so normalized now, but the fact that he is his own producer and artist. And like, when you listen to like T-Lop 4, T-Lop 5, like, it's all him, like everything is so him that it's unmistakable.
Very much has his own sound.
Yeah, exactly. And it's unfortunately, or fortunately, I guess, depending on the way you look at it, it's been replicated so much that I feel like now like a Pierre Bourne type beat is so popular, Yeah. But, shout out Pierre Bourne because, he was also somebody that I just get super inspired by people that are both producers and artists. I just think that that's so cool. And obviously, like, I feel like I am part of that community, even though, especially lately, I feel like I'm more of a producer, but I'll never stop making music just because I love doing it, even if it doesn't blow up or anything, But then also in the underground, I'm thinking of more inspirations like Cash Cash. When I discovered Cash Cash, I made like dozens of plug beats where I'm just like, this is so cool, like Cash Cash, like big inspiration. Retta is another inspiration, producer-wise, but it's just kind of that. I kind of draw inspirations from the people that are also not held down by like any one genre, that's why like, I don't know, especially like JPEG Mafia, just because like, I hate to name drop him 100 times, but he really, like, when I heard Veteran, that album straight up changed the way I like approach music production completely. I was just like, I need to do something that makes no sense and then make it make sense later, like.
Yeah.
But yeah. How about you though? What are your biggest inspirations, producer-wise?
Producer-wise, I feel like my biggest inspiration, like my favorite artist of all time, is Kanye, like always will be. Yeah. I don't really know if like he's an inspiration for my beats. I would say like, or maybe sometimes like melody wise potentially, but I don't really know. My favorite other than Kanye, like my top like artist would be like Blink 182, like the golden era. because I love like any like pop punk and stuff like that. And I try to do a lot of that sound still, even though like in like 2017, like when there was like GBC and all these guys, like it was very like mainstream and popular then. It's definitely not as popular now, but it's a sound that I still love. So I still want to do it.
I feel like low key though, it's kind of coming back in a weird way with like these rappers like fucking Machine Gun Kelly now like unironically doing only pop punk. You know what I mean? Like,
no, for sure. But I guess I'm referring to like whenever they would just use like emo samples, but they would still do like a rap beat.
Yeah, I got you.
Now it's like it's a straight up pop punk song, you know, which is cool. Like I like that, but I definitely love like, you know, the early like Lil Peep and like Lil Tracy like era and like I mean everybody in GBC, Horsehead, Wicca Phase. Some of my favorite like emo kind of underground artists too are. Do you know Fantasy Camp?
I've heard the name, but I'm not super familiar.
You gotta listen to him, bro. He's one of my favorite artists like ever.
Oh, okay. Say less.
He's great. And then another one is definitely Lil Lotus. I love him.
Yep.
I love his stuff. Like his early like SoundCloud stuff is like elite.
Yo, since you brought up like the emo samples thing, I just want to hear your thoughts on like what did you think of the like Punk Goes Drill album by Polo Perks? Because I feel like that was an interesting incorporation, especially like because I mean that was the first time I'd heard of Surf Gang period, but when I heard that project I'm like this is super like different and creative, and I feel like they did the whole like, you know, sampling The Killers and sampling Snow Patrol, but instead of like super like, you know, goth like sad music, it was like drill, which is just like such an interesting incorporation to me. Like did you have any outstanding thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think I was just listening to that project the other day. I still think that project is amazing. I think it's one of the best projects of the year. I think it's very interesting the way they did it. I don't know. It's a great project. I think some of my favorite songs off it would definitely be Snow Patrol, and then Not Another Teen Movie was hard.
Yes, that was great.
Yeah, that's all great. That's actually crazy. This is the first time that you've heard of Surf Gang. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, I don't even know how it was recommended to me, but I think somebody just posted like Punk Goes Drill, and I was like having one of these days where I just like clean the house and like listen to new music for like 4 hours straight. And I just listened to that project front to back like twice or 3 times, and I was like, whoa, like this is different. This is the kind of like cool, you know, inspiring for sure. And just to throw another producer to the list of producer inspiration this year, Evil Gianni for sure. Big
bro.
inspo.
I was literally about to say that Evil Gianni is. I don't know if this sounds like ridiculous to say, but Evil Gianni is my favorite producer of all time.
I feel you though. I feel you. He's done
amazing.
A lot of really sick work this year. Like everything I've heard that he's produced, I'm like, this is wild. Like this is just innovative. It's creative. It's And he's also really versatile with it. You know, he can do like really hype shit, and he can also do like really like melancholy, like slower beats. And Evil Gianni's another like super dope guy.
That's why I love him, is because he like makes so many different styles. Like he, you know, you can do like his, you know, drill samples, and then he can do kind of like the more like traditional like Surf Gang sounding stuff. And bro, he's so good, and I just love how every single thing you hear from him, you know, it's Evil Gianni. And the fact that I've done anything with him in general is like amazing.
Wait, you've worked with Evil Gianni?
Yeah.
Bro, put me on.
Like,
we're gonna play a snippet of it right now.
Shit, it can get icky. Slap on me, man, I call that shit Vicky. But I make a nigga that's like a Tusi. Skirt off, I'ma hop in a Tusi. My label movie, nigga, you can't be me. I can't see the face, shit like I'm Stevie. Nigga talking shit, but he can't have me. I make a nigga run like a track meet.
All right, I did two beats with him, and both of the beats got used. Yeah, I think he's one of the best producers, period.
Yeah, facts.
My favorite producer of all time.
No, I agree. He's definitely
one more thing I'll say is I think I told Polo this one day. I think Surf Gang and like all of them in general, like for me personally, they made music fun for me. Like, I don't know, something about them. Like anytime anybody's in a group, it just makes it like funner and cooler for me. Like that's why I love like, you know, GBC and, you know, certain groups like that. But I think they just made music fun for me, and I just love listening to all the stuff, and I love all the different like members. Like the first time I ever heard of Surf Gang was when I did the very first song with Pasto, like, and that was the end of 2019. So I've known for a while, but it's crazy because it's like ever since then I've been such a big fan, and I'm still a big fan now, and it's been 2 years.
Yeah. That's
so it's
crazy,
like,
bro.
I look at it like if they've held my attention for 2 years, like they're doing something good.
Preach. Yeah, I think my 3 favorite members are definitely like, well, actually now I'm thinking 4, but I love Baby Sosa, Polo Perks, Mo Beretta. I just love Mo Beretta's voice. Is sick.
Oh, he's so underrated. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Bobany. Bobane.
Yeah,
sorry, Bobane.
Yeah,
Bobane, bitch.
Yeah, it's so good, bro. But I don't think Baby Sosa's in Surf Gang anymore, is she?
I don't know. Is she not? Because she was on the Surf Gang Volume 2 or Volume 1 project.
She was, but then they dropped the 6 a.m. video and they took her off, and then I think Polo kind of like sneak dissed her on his new project.
Oh, no, I did not know that. Also, it is worth mentioning Baby Sosa has like the more clout out of anyone in the group. I think she's got like 250,000 or something on Instagram. Don't quote me on that. I'm probably wrong. But because she's doing like her fashion shit too, you know, like she's like really in the fashion world too. So maybe, no, but I didn't know that. I honestly did not know that at all.
Yeah, I don't think she's in the group anymore. I don't think they've like messed with her for a while, but no, she still, I still like some of her music. She still drops, but I still love like her best music is definitely her Surf Gang stuff. The fact that I even got to work with anybody in Surf Gang and period is crazy. And I've worked with like my favorite, I've worked with Gianni, I worked with Pasto like twice, and then I worked with Casper most recently. And that one was crazy because like Casper is like someone like, bro, this dude's doing songs with like Travis Barker, and you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, but that's sick. I literally did not know you had worked with them in that sense. That's like a big milestone shit. Like kudos to you.
Yeah, bro, I'm super like happy of that. And then there's also other producers who are like not in Surf Gang, but kind of like in that same scene that I've done a lot of stuff with. Like shout out to like J6, because J6 is someone who's like one of my favorite people that I've met in music, because he used to tell me to like send him melodies all the time, and I would send him like I used to like when I first like started making music, I used to like just not make very many good stuff. And so I would send him these like bad melodies, and he was the one person that told me, I don't like these, send me something better.
Damn.
You know what I mean? Because nobody will tell you that. They'll just ignore you.
Yeah. But I was about to say, I think that's a better approach, is literally like the communication part, is being like, I don't like this, send me something better. Because even though it does hurt our ego a little bit, all it makes you want to do is like do even better then. You know?
Yeah.
It makes you want to keep going.
And the thing about it is like I made stuff with him after that. You know what I mean? I did like 2 or 3 different beats with him after that. So it's like, yeah, he's someone that I feel like is great, and he has such like his own style too. And one of the beats was with me, J6, and Pasto, which was cool because I never thought like I would ever produce with Pasto like that.
Bro, that's a flex. That's definitely a flex. We're going to play a snippet of that right now.
Surf Gang, bitch.
Arix Jahonson.
Hey, yo, Jason, turn that up.
What else? Yeah, what else is on the docket, my man?
I don't know. I've just been like making a lot of I don't know, I go through phases. I'll make melodies for a while. I'll make loops, or I'll make beats for a while. I'll try to do samples for a while. Like the other day I did these 2 beats that one of them I sampled this Lorde song, and then the other one I sampled, there's this band called On Broken Wings. Do you know who that is?
No, I don't think so.
I think they make like screamo music. I don't really listen to it. My friend, he like listens to a lot of different stuff, so he send me samples or whatever. And so I did that the other day where I just listened to those, where I just made those sample beats, and then my favorite stuff I've been doing for sure recently has been all these melodies that I've been doing with like Chrysocoma, because he's someone who's like super talented that nobody knows, but it's like, bro, like all these melodies that we make get used by producers because he's very talented. He don't even make like rap music, he just makes like EDM stuff, but like when we get together we make like such good stuff. I made a melody with him last night, bro, that like I need to play you. Like it's crazy.
Yo, yes, please do. And that's an amazing feeling, especially having someone that like you're close to that isn't like, just for lack of a better term, poppin', but you see their potential and you want to like do shit with them. Like that's a wonderful feeling.
Bro, he's like so much more talented than me. Like I can admit that. Like everybody that I work with is more talented than me. Like I can be honest and admit that. You know what I mean?
Damn. I mean, everything he's made that like the 2 of you have sent me is just like fire. Like it's like dynamic. It's like, it changes up. It's sick. It's sick. You definitely got to continue to work more with him.
For sure. Yeah, bro. I tell him all the time, like, you got to get more like, on Instagram, you got to like start doing more stuff. He's real like low key. Like he doesn't really like do anything like that. But I guess he just kind of like lets the music, speak. But
hey, and sometimes that works for some people. Like if he can remain kind of low key and mysterious and still get like, big name underground placements, then like, the talent speaks for itself.
Yeah, the first underground placement that we got, well, as far as like artists goes, because we've done like stuff with you, we've done stuff with like Mojo, we've done stuff with like a couple of different producers. The first song though was Yakuza, which is cool because it's like, me, you, and him.
Nice.
So that one's cool, yeah. Bro, do you have any underground artists or producers that you want to like shout out? Because I feel like we got to like give some like props to certain people that deserve them.
Yeah. Let me think. Salamander Sam. He's been my guy. I met him when I was living in North Carolina. Like he's also like a producer and artist, and he just like finds crazy samples, like flips ridiculous songs. Like he's like really funny and like witty when it comes to like his artist shit, and he's also like super dynamic. And yeah, definitely shout out to him as an artist and a producer. I'm actually dropping like a collab tape with a bunch of friends from North Carolina, and Salamander Sam is one of the people in this little super group we're doing, and he produced like half the shit on the project, I produced half the shit on the project, and we're just waiting on that to finish, and then that'll hopefully come out before the year ends, if not at the start of next year. But that's someone I have a lot of admiration and a lot of love for. He's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
How about you?
I got a lot of people that I've been like, really working with. Like I've shouted out like, Chrysocoma a bunch of times. Mojo, do you know who that is? Alias Mojo?
Yeah. I've seen him and I've heard some of his shit, but I'm not like super well versed. I just know him through you.
He produces a lot for s.mosthated. Like that's like his like main producer. Which shout out to him too, because he's awesome too. But Mojo is someone who like I look at as like a friend that happens to make music with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I really like appreciate him just for being cool. Like we went on FaceTime the other night for like 2 hours and just talked, and like it's like, yeah, we talked about music sometimes, but it's like, we're just cool. Mojo, some of my favorite producers to work with is definitely there's this dude Shred. He does stuff with he did some stuff with Lil Hazy. Do you know who that is?
Lil Hazy. The name sounds kind of familiar, but...
All right, you know Ass Pizza?
Yes.
He's like real close with like Ass Pizza.
Okay.
But yeah, Shred is like someone who's like liked my stuff for a while. J6, definitely. I know I'm gonna like listen back to this and like not be mad I didn't shout out certain people, but
I feel you. I already thought of like 5 more people I want to shout out. So
yeah, shout out to Pretty Life Kyra too. Do you know her?
no.
You gotta listen to her. She's fire. She makes like great music, and her voice is like so good. She kind of makes like, I mean, not to like say she only has one sound, but she does like a lot of like plug stuff. But it's super like artsy sounding, like a lot of it, and her voice is like just fire. She's the best female artist out that I know for sure.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, definitely put me on. You got to make me either a list or like a playlist of shit to check out.
Yeah, bro. I did a song with her that came out maybe like a month ago or so. You can listen to that one. That one's good.
Bet we're going to play a snippet of that right here.
Jahonson.
Shmoney exclusives.
Regardless of the shit that I've been through, I know I can't take it back. I'll do it all again. I don't have any regrets. I can't let nobody get in the way. I'm on the road to these. One of y'all try to run up, I keep that 9 by the bed. Bullets to your head. I don't think I ever cared. I let my actions speak for itself. Man, fuck all of that bullshit. You won't catch me in that. Niggas left me in the dirt. I was crying for help. All this showed me that they never give a fuck how I felt. Money on me now.
I'm trying to think. Other people I want to shout out is Lil Spacebar. He's like not a producer, but just like an artist that I've known since I like lived in Florida, and he's like super, just does a bunch of shit. I produced like his one album, which is like one of my favorite production things I've ever done. Stanley Valentine. Shout out Stanley Valentine. Who else? Because I don't really like work with as many people as I'd like to work. Like I only have like a couple people I work with. So I'm just trying to shout out people that, you know, like are in my circle. And that's like you, Sam, and yeah, that's kind of it. And like my friend group, I'm the producer. You know what I mean? Like everyone else is like the artist. So like I'm just trying to think. But yeah, shout out everyone that has made the journey to this point here possible. We appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Bro, do you know how we like first met or like first linked up? Because I don't even remember.
There was a beat. I'd actually like saw it literally the other day. I posted on my Instagram like a Punk Goes Drill type beat. Just like a screen recording of the beat, and you commented like, "This shit fire," and I was just like, "Thanks." And I don't even know how you found me. Probably just through like a hashtag. But then I think at that point you like DM'd me and were like, "Yo, like, can I send you some loops?" And the rest is history. Now here we are.
Yeah, I feel like it's crazy. I don't really do the hashtag thing very much. I don't really like look people up, but sometimes I do. I won't lie, like certain times. But that's crazy that like if that is true, like how I found you, that like it was you out of all people.
Yeah, for real. Because like I'm just so very like iffy with hashtags too. Like I'll never look them up, and I really don't like using them, but it's like necessary in the algorithm and shit. And yeah, when you said that, I was just like, I checked out your shit. I'm like, yeah, this dude's fire. He's going to send me something good. I already know it. And yeah, because I think that was it. Because like, I feel like before we had ever DM'd, there's this post that I think might be archived now. But yeah, you just like commented randomly and I didn't know who you were. But yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's crazy. I couldn't even remember. But I actually do appreciate going on and looking up hashtags and finding these like really small producers. I love doing that like sometimes. I know I don't do it very often, but I love doing that because it's cool, because it like, you know, you give people chances and then you can like meet new connections. And I look at it like if the product turns out good, then that's all that matters, you know?
Yeah, preach.
Like I could do a collab with someone who has zero followers, but like if I enjoy it and, you know, whatever, then cool. I just got a new friend and, you know.
Facts. Yeah, that's really all that matters. Like that's why I really hate playing like the clout game. Like if you're talented, you're talented, and that's what I'm gonna see you as type shit. You know, like if we make something fire, then that's what really matters. Yeah, that's good. Wow, it doesn't even feel like 45 minutes at all.
I know.
Maybe we should wrap it up, I think. Do you have anything you want to add? Any like other questions or anything else we could riff on before ending it?
Okay, what do you have? What are you working on? Like, what's some of the new stuff you've been doing?
I'm working on still, I got like a couple more singles I'm just waiting to drop, but I think I'm going to work on another full-length project that I'm going to try to have out by like mid-February, like around my birthday. And besides that, just like making beats. Oh yeah, I got a friend of mine who's like really into cryptocurrency, and he's starting this like really ambitious ride sharing app, but it's all paid through cryptocurrency. And he like hired me to basically make the playlist and the music for it. Like when people ride, like it'll be kind of like a SoundCloud, but only through a bike sharing app, and you can only listen to it if you use it. I really shouldn't disclose any more than that, but it could be crazy. Like I'm gonna be getting paid in crypto. Yeah, no, like it's super ambitious. Really hope it takes off. And if not, yeah, I've just been making a lot of like house music because he's like, we need a bunch of house beats for this app. Like you got to just make house. So that's something I'm not used to. And I've been, making a lot of house beats lately. So that's kind of what I've been doing. Another person I just remember to shout out is Noya, is like a hyperpop artist from South Florida who I've been working with and producing music for, and she's also super talented. And shout out her. She's got a lot of big things coming. But besides that, I've just been like trying to be steady, posting beats on YouTube every other day, and working on my own shit. Also, Macy, another artist I've been like working with, producing music for her, all this shit. So hoping to just like make more connections and like do all that shit, because it's kind of hard for me to like reach out to people sometimes. So I kind of just like stay in my circle unless somebody like urges me to step out of that. So I'm just hoping to make those connections, meet new people, get new energy in my life, like new people that want to work, new projects, new anything. So, and you've been super pivotal for me in that, because you're literally probably the first and only person that has just reached out to me and has been like, hey, do you want to work? Like, we don't know each other, but let's do it. And
nobody does that.
Yeah. Maybe I should start doing that too.
I try to do that with as many people as possible, because it's like, you never know. Like, I've made some beats with people before that I'm not super happy with, but then I've made beats where it's like you get connections, and that's where we are,
Yeah, dead ass. Well, swag.
One more question I got, and then we can head out.
No, go ahead.
What is your favorite song that you've ever produced for someone?
Damn. That is really hard to say. I don't know, because like I love a lot of the shit obviously that I've produced for myself, but if I'm thinking of somebody else, again, just the little spacebar project, LSB on LSD, that entire project front to back is produced by me, and like some of my favorite production is on that project. And that project is like almost 2 years old at this point. I think it was released, like February of 2020. So that one is really good. But I can't like single song. The thing is, I've produced for like so many of my friends, and the sessions were very, instead of me just sending out a beat to an artist and being like, here, get on this, and then they just get back to it. It's like I've had a lot of sessions where people are just like literally over my shoulder being like, yo, we should try this, yo, we should do this, and like it just evolves into its own thing. Like there's a song on that project literally called LSB on LSD, and that song we made with, it was Plaque Bussy, Jay Bezzy, Lil Spacebar, and Lil Universe, and we just all took acid and just like made the beat, tweaked the beat, all wrote a verse, like got on it, and that one was crazy. But
sounds crazy.
How about you? You tell me. At least for this
Favorite.
moment, because I don't know if you're like me. My favorite changes every like week or two. So how about like right now? What's your favorite shit you produce?
The ones I've been listening to the most would be the new song I did with s.mosthated. It's called Let You In. It's on his new like project. It's actually the same beat that Casper used, which is a Owl City sample, which like I love all music that sounds like Owl City and like, you know, MySpace like scene music.
Yes, bro. The MySpace era music lives on.
Bro, I have so many songs that if anybody ever needs like any auto-tune scene songs, I have you. But
bro, say less. I've been trying to like crack that sound, so maybe we'll get something popping.
Bro, I know like all the top tier ones, low key, like, and nobody knows about this, I don't think. But yeah, I would say "Let You In" by s.mosthated, my probably the one I'm most proud of right now. I also love the song with Pretty Life Kyra that I was telling you about her. We have a song called "Crazy" that I produced that I really like, and then. I mean, the biggest song I've ever produced would be the song with Pasto, like Third Eye. I don't know if you ever heard that one.
Yeah, I have. As soon as you told me about that, I would like went and check it out. Shit's fire.
That's like the biggest song I've ever done, but I don't know. Like that song's so old, like I don't really listen to it like that anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I love Pasto though. Like I would love to like work with him again. But those two definitely my favorites at the moment for sure.
Bet we're gonna play those as well, so everyone gets a sneak peek. But
yeah, pain away. They hop on, you know they gon' ride. They like, Pastor, how you doing? I'm fine. She holding the telly, I pull up the wine. Yeah, now she drunk. Look at my face, she said, Pastor, you fine. She know that I'm different, she know I'm divine. They stay their hand, they stop in the ground. Different hoes in different states. Got me feeling like Diego. I had to cut her off, now the case go. Gotta rate bread if you wanna make more. Shut look up, sell what you raise. Show that she said she biracial. Fuck it, baby, here I'm on the day. Gotta make some time, put you on my schedule. I'm a hard.
Bet, my G. I think we should wrap it up unless there's anything else we need to talk about.
Nope, I feel like we've done it all.
Yeah, we really touched a lot of topics, spoke about our experiences. We really shined the light on everything that we're doing right now, everything that we're proud of, and yeah, it was a pleasure having you here, bro. Thank you so much for everything, and Swag, we hope to do another one again. We're gonna make some more beats. We're gonna get it cracking.
For sure.
Bet, my G. Appreciate you so much. Thank you again, Arix Jahonson, for being here, for tuning in. And this has been PODQUARiUM. Catch you on the next one. Peace.
Bitches, the aquarium. This is my podcast. I'ma talk about some shit. Bitches, the aquarium. I'm with Arix Jahonson. I'ma talk about some shit. Yeah, this is PODQUARiUM. Yeah, this is PODQUARiUM.